Have you ever had the impression that people are avoiding you or that some relationships aren't genuine? If so, you're at the proper location. Today, we'll explore the true causes of people's covert distaste for you and identify 9 behaviors that may be preventing you from reaching your full potential. You'll get new perspectives on creating sincere, lasting connections by comprehending these habits. We'll examine what you can manage and how little mental adjustments may have a significant impact on how you interact with other people, using ideas from Stoic philosophy. Let's start with self-importance, one of the most subtly powerful behaviors. It often creeps in subtly and isn't necessarily about overt haughtiness. Perhaps it's the want to be recognized first, the need to correct someone, or the sense that your time is more important than other people's. Even though you may not be aware of these traits, others may be able to detect them, which may cause them to feel distant and underappreciated. This imperceptible barrier has the potential to weaken relationships over time. The Stoics believed that humility was crucial. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, often reminded himself that pursuing virtue, rather than aiming for notoriety or acclaim, is what gives life its actual worth. According to him, ego distorts our vision, making it more difficult to view the outside world and the people in it clearly. Allowing ego to rule our thoughts is like a storm churning up the seas, warping our perceptions of our relationships with other people. We could lose chances for genuine connection if we concentrate on how their words affect us rather than really listening. A mind devoid of self-importance, on the other hand, is like a silent, peaceful ocean that reflects reality. Without being distracted by our own desires and fears, this clarity enables us to really appreciate others. Try turning your attention outward to start letting go of your ego. Remind yourself that everyone's time, thoughts, and emotions are as important as your own, and listen more and interrupt less. These little adjustments may pave the way for more profound and significant connections, aiming to discover what additional behaviors can be preventing you from moving forward. Let's go on. Simple, deliberate actions may help release the hold of self-importance. Change your attention throughout chats to start. Engage in active listening instead of directing attention back to yourself. Without passing judgment or drawing comparisons, try to comprehend the viewpoint of others. Ask yourself, does this need benefit anybody else, or is it simply feeding my ego? If you feel pressured to prove anything or express your correctness, Stoicism serves as a reminder that humility is about appreciating the inherent worth of everyone around us, not about lowering our own value. By putting away our ego, we create space for genuine openness and respect. This serene and modest manner gradually attracts others. Relationships change from ones of silent competitiveness or self-validation to ones of mutual respect when others feel heard and appreciated. Ironically, we may make deeper and more lasting relationships when we let go of the need to feel significant. Despite being seen as a positive, perfectionism may subtly become a liability. It is admirable to aim for greatness, but it can be draining when lofty ideals turn into a compulsive quest for perfection. This constant pressure to have things just right may put unseen strain on others around us, as well as on ourselves. Individuals may feel inadequate or criticized, as if they are being held to unachievable expectations. Perfectionism may damage relationships by causing stress and cultivating feelings of inadequacy, even when it is motivated by noble goals like striving for excellence or avoiding errors. Acceptance is the remedy offered by Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius sagely suggested accepting people and the world for what they are, while concentrating on the things we can control, such as our decisions, actions, and reactions. Attempting to control every aspect of life or relationships merely inhibits natural development and exaggerates imperfections. Others may find it exhausting to always feel like they're falling short when perfectionism infiltrates relationships. They could eventually pull away to avoid this pressure. Practice letting go of little flaws as a countermeasure. The next time you have the impulse to make changes, make improvements, or provide criticism, stop and consider if it's really essential or whether it's just your perfectionism talking. Recall that relationships thrive when people are patient, understanding, and accepting, rather than when they are constantly scrutinized. Harmony and lucidity. Emotional resilience encourages us to put some distance between the trigger and our reaction, not to ignore or reject our emotions. When you find yourself in a tough position, take a moment to relax. Does this response need to happen? Does it benefit the circumstance or me? We promote stability and dependability in our relationships by selecting deliberate replies over snap decisions. Control over our inner condition is the foundation of Epictetus's Stoic attitude to emotions. We have no control over what other people do or how life unfolds, but we do have control over how we react. This way of thinking changes how other people see us. We are no longer seen as erratic or volatile, but rather as a source of peace and someone people can turn to rather than avoid. Consider emotions to be like the waves on the surface of an ocean. Impulsive reactions are like letting each wave carry you away, preventing you from seeing the vast, serene depths underneath. We may react to circumstances with clarity and prevent the emotional turbulence that obscures our vision by engaging in peaceful observation. This is not an excuse to repress feelings or act as if they don't exist. It entails accepting them, comprehending where they come from, and deciding how to respond. This technique gradually improves relationships by making people feel more comfortable and secure around us. Additionally, it cultivates inner tranquility, transforming emotional upheavals into tolerable breezes. When we achieve this equilibrium, we create settings where relationships grow stronger and trust thrives, all based on consistent, considerate interaction. As an innocuous analogy, but it has the capacity to distort our perceptions, impair our connections, and rob us of our happiness. Envy causes us to concentrate on what other people have, instead of being grateful for what we currently have. This style of thinking makes us feel inadequate, which stokes anger and drives us further away from thankfulness and satisfaction. Envy, according to the Stoics, is a negative emotion since it attributes our satisfaction to circumstances outside of our control. The quote from Marcus Aurelius that serves as a reminder to concentrate on our own journey is, "Do not waste what remains of your life on what others think of you." Being envious makes us compare ourselves to other people, but living according to our own principles, not those of others, is the path to genuine joy. When jealousy distorts our viewpoint, it affects how other people see us as well. People may be turned off by subtle remarks, contemptuous demeanors, or even passive-aggressive actions that betray underlying jealousy. Envy creates distrust and distance rather than connection. Actively cultivate thankfulness to fight jealousy. Begin by listing 3 things, no matter how little, for which you are grateful every day. This easy practice promotes a feeling of wealth by changing your attention from what you lack to what you have. Celebrate other people's achievements as well. Instead of feeling envious when someone accomplishes something you respect, use it to motivate you. Keep in mind that your potential is not diminished by their achievement. This way of thinking gradually changes the way you approach relationships, making you a more encouraging and helpful person, because they will see that you're truly glad for their victories rather than subtly competing with them. People will be attracted to your optimism. You may develop closer relationships, inner tranquility, and a life based on appreciation rather than comparison by releasing yourself from the hold of jealousy. People we're envious of. It is more difficult to establish sincere relationships because of this divide, which is not only internal, but also evident in our interactions. Others can see a lack of genuineness, or believe that their accomplishments are not acknowledged, but rather subtly despised. The Stoics instruct us to change the way we think in order to overcome jealousy. Consider the accomplishments of others as evidence of what is achievable, rather than as threats. Honor their accomplishments as teaching moments or sources of motivation for your own path. Epictetus advises us, do not envy the person who seems to have it all. You have your own unique strengths and path to follow. Reflecting on your own objectives and successes is one useful practice. Put your accomplishments and any progress you've achieved, no matter how little, in writing. This helps you refocus your attention from comparison to your own personal development. Another antidote is gratitude. List a few things about your life and yourself for which you are grateful every day. This will help you develop satisfaction and change the focus from lack to plenty. You convey a different vibe when you adopt this approach. You develop into someone who really celebrates other people's successes and encourages them. Relationships are strengthened by this positivism because it makes others feel appreciated and supported. Envy eventually gives way to a greater understanding of your path and the special contributions you make to the world. It puts up a wall in interpersonal connections. People get defensive when they believe they are being exploited or led in a direction that only serves the manipulator's interests. relationships become superficial and transactional as a result of this gradual erosion of authenticity and alienation. Sincerity and integrity are crucial in human relationships, according to Stoic philosophy. If it is not right, do not do it, wrote Marcus Aurelius. Don't mention anything if it's untrue. This emphasizes the need of being honest and directing our behavior toward virtue rather than hidden agendas. Even though manipulation might result in temporary benefits, it eventually erodes the respect for one another that is the cornerstone of deep connections. Develop self-awareness to overcome manipulative tendencies. Am I trying to steer someone for my benefit, or am I being sincere in my intentions? Consider if any hidden reasons you see are consistent with your values and the kind of connections you want to cultivate. Making transparency a priority is another strategy to counteract manipulativeness. Rather of attempting to get people to indirectly satisfy your wants and objectives, be explicit about them. Stronger ties based on respect are formed when this honesty promotes trust and reciprocal transparency. People feel comfortable and appreciated when you approach interactions with genuineness and without ulterior motives. They are more inclined to react honestly and trustingly, strengthening the bond. This honesty eventually improves your relationships and brings your behavior into line with the Stoic ideal of leading a life based on morality and integrity. Heavy relationships may suffer long-term harm as a result of this lack of accountability, as others may start to see us as untrustworthy or unable to accept responsibility for our actions. People find it harder to engage emotionally or professionally in us as a result of this tendency, which gradually erodes trust. Self-accountability is important, according to Stoicism. Epictetus taught that we are accountable for our appearance in the world, and urged his followers to accept responsibility for their deeds and reactions. Avoiding responsibility erodes our character and strains our relationships, even if it can appear like a method to escape suffering. We demonstrate courage, humility, and respect for others when we accept responsibility for our errors. Recognizing our mistakes does not make us weak. Rather, it makes us human. By accepting accountability, we show others that we respect their confidence and are dedicated to our own development. Thinking back on instances when things didn't go as planned is a good place to start when practicing responsibility. What role did I play in this outcome? Ask yourself. Be truthful without being too judgmental. Acknowledge your error to the people that were impacted. Relationships may be repaired and trust restored with a straightforward, sincere apology and a resolve to do better. Accepting responsibility makes us more in line with Stoic ideals and makes us trustworthy and respected people. Relationships become stronger and more robust over time as a result of this practice, because others see us as trustworthy and prepared to support one another through both success and adversity. Living in balance with our own selves, stressing the need of honesty and sincerity in leading a moral existence. Marcus Aurelius often urged himself to waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be in his writings on the value of being sincere. Become one. According to this idea, attempting to be someone we're not in order to blend in or win over others only results in internal strife and alienation from the outside world. By putting up a front, we unwittingly let others know that we don't trust them with who we really are. People may tell when something isn't quite real, which can strain relationships. This eventually causes distance and hinders the development of genuine, long-lasting relationships. Self-awareness is the first step toward authenticity. Am I presenting myself as who I really am, or am I attempting to conform to the expectations of others? Being genuine is more important than being flawless. Identify the times when you feel pressured to exaggerate, conceal your emotions, or behave contrary to your moral principles. Then deliberately try to be yourself, warts and all. Embracing sincerity encourages others to follow suit. Since it fosters an environment of transparency and trust, people are attracted to sincere people. By taking off the mask, you let relationships thrive on respect and understanding between people rather than on performance or pretense. You'll discover over time that being true to yourself improves your relationships and gives your life a greater feeling of harmony and balance. Moments, whether brief or insignificant. He thought that developing a balanced viewpoint improved our relationships in addition to bringing us inner serenity. Pessimism causes us to lose sight of opportunities and solutions, concentrating exclusively on what is wrong. Am I focusing solely on what's wrong, or can I identify something positive or constructive in this situation? is a question to ask yourself if you see yourself slipping into negativity. Changing your viewpoint does not imply ignoring issues. Rather, it means deciding to face them with resiliency and hope instead of hopelessness. Pessimism also has an impact on how other people see us. Persistent negativity may hinder real connection by making individuals feel ignored or unsupported. Rather, think about how a more balanced perspective may benefit others around you. A pleasant remark or recognition of possible solutions may motivate others and encourage teamwork, making you someone they want to be around. A potent remedy for pessimism is the Stoic practice of thankfulness. Whether they are little pleasures or significant life events, take the time each day to express your gratitude for what you have. With time, this technique aids in redefining difficulties as chances for development rather than as barriers to contentment. Adopting a more positive and well-rounded outlook not only enhances your own mental and emotional health, but also radiates a welcoming vibe that attracts others. When optimism is balanced with reality, it builds deeper connections and deepens relationships, which makes you and others around you feel more optimistic and powerful. We promote more balanced and healthy relationships when we give them freedom and believe in their capacity to overcome obstacles. Although excessive engagement often comes from well-meaning intentions, it may inadvertently convey that we question their ability or intelligence. This may lead to dependency or animosity, neither of which is healthy for development and respect between people. Am I helping because they asked for support or because I feel uncomfortable with their choices? Is a good question to ask yourself if you feel the need to intervene or provide uninvited advice. This self-awareness moment may help you react respectfully instead of controllingly. Here, the Stoic idea of concentrating on the things we can control acts as a grounding exercise. Rather of attempting to make other people's lives better, focus your energies on being a consistent, encouraging presence. When someone asks for assistance, provide it, but try not to go too far. Even if someone else's path may vary from yours, have faith that they may learn and develop from their own experiences. By exercising this self-control, you make room for understanding and trust amongst others. Because you respect their limits and have faith in their skills, people will feel secure in your company. Relationships are strengthened throughout time by this regard, which also promotes honest, real ties based on respect for one another, rather than invasion. Journeys we acknowledge that each person's life is a unique and sacred experience. If you notice a tendency to step in, uninvited, take a moment to reflect. Consider if your help is genuinely needed, or if it might be more respectful to simply offer quiet support, trust in others, ability to navigate their challenges. The people around you will feel more comfortable, more respected, and more inclined to trust you when they sense you're there to listen rather than to direct. Respecting boundaries strengthens relationships and shows confidence in others that in turn nurtures genuine trust and connection. Thank you for watching our video on 9 surprising reasons why people secretly hate you. We hope you found this information valuable and that it inspires you to work on yourself and become the best version of yourself. Remember that change starts with small, consistent steps. Stoic philosophy teaches that we all have the power to shape our inner lives and in turn, our relationships with others. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more valuable content like this.